the Workforce Connections podcast, where we discuss workforce development in Southern Nevada. Here's your host.
Good morning and welcome to the WC podcast. Today we have a very special guest, a member of the Workforce Connections Board, my friend, colleague, and superintendent of the 5th largest school district in the nation, Clark County School District, Dr. Jesus Jara. Jesus, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's exciting to be here and just really connecting with you as not only a colleague, but also a good friend. So Thanks for having me here.
We're excited to have you here. This is our brand new studio. What do you think?
I tell you what, it's nice. Getting a little jealous. I may either have to come here or I got to tell the team we got to step it up a little bit, you know?
We want you here. There's been several now board members that have actually hosted their own show here. Mary Beth, Cecil, and so we welcome you. If you want to bring Superintendent Ebert from the state and interview her, this is your studio as well.
Absolutely. Well, no, thank you for the offer. This is a great opportunity, you know, to bring my colleagues that we work. And, you know, something to tell you, I'm also now the president for next year for the Superintendents Association statewide. So maybe we'll take advantage and bring some of my colleagues here.
Let's bring your colleagues. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Jesus, one of the things that I'm going to start by saying, what you always hear me saying, we're doing, these are very challenging times, but we're doing good work because you were the first superintendent that came to Workforce Connections and says, I need to be on this workforce board. And the reason why is because the workforce development pipeline starts in K through 12. This is the earliest piece of the pipeline of talent development, as Dr. Pollard says. And, you know, education has to be aligned with the needs of businesses. And so with Mary Beth on our board, Peter on our board, and the business on our board, as you know, we're working on these industry sector partnerships to really embed the needs of business as early as possible in your system. And so you were appointed by the Local Elected Officials Consortium as the first superintendent. What's been your experience so far representing the K through 12 system on this local workforce development board?
Yeah, no, well, I'm honored and humbled to be part of this conversation at the local level for the economy. I think it serves as a superintendent and drives us to then say, okay, are we producing the kids, and I call them kids even though they're 18, 19 when they're leaving us, are we producing the talent that this community needs, right? And then what do we need to do differently? That's one big aspect that I sit at the table with the local leaders in this business community that are running, right, the economy. So that's one. But then also when you look at as the business community is trying to attract other businesses, what do I need to do differently and what do we need to do to then make sure that the executives that are coming into this community feel that this K-12 system is ready to meet the needs of their kids. So it serves both purposes for me. So part of the conversation and being part of the solution and the economy for Las Vegas.
Absolutely, Jesus. And again, having been here now 35 years, I can tell you that was not the case before, and so we're grateful that you came into our region and are doing exactly that. And how that, again, influences the future is because, as you know, another member of our board, Tina Quigley, the new head of the LVGA, is out there selling our region, our economy. But the reality, you and I talk all the time, if we don't produce that talent that those businesses need, we're not going to succeed. And so one of the things I'm really happy, again, to see lately is that those members of the LVGA from the higher education system, Federico Zaragoza at CSN, Dirion Pollard at Nevada State College, Keith Whitfield at UNLV, Shelley Berkeley at Toro, Lori Purdue at University of Phoenix, and also WGU, Rick over there. They are trying to align with you because, again, they can't be successful if you're not successful.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a beauty of what we're trying to do. And we have an opportunity. Part of the LVGEA is really all of us sit at the table with the community and the business community as we're bringing in the pipeline. But here we have a K-20 pipeline. Everybody across the country talks about K-20, but you get into silos, right? But not here. You know, I sit with the higher ed and we meet monthly. We produce 24,000 kids every year, graduating about 24,000, 25, depending on the
at CCSD
in the Clark County School District. 24,000 kids. They're going to go off to college. they're going to go off into the workforce. So am I producing the product that's going to be ready for both? And I think that is the collaboration that we've needed. So, we all sit together, 4 of us, in really building that pipeline. And then as we diversify, and Tina does a great job, great friend, as well as she's bringing in businesses to diversify this economy. I think, are we then preparing that pipeline? And I think that's the work that, as large as we are, and you're right, we've had a lot of challenges these past couple of years, not only COVID, but also some other different challenges that we're facing here. We've stayed the course because we had to stay the course for our kids in this community. So I think that's the exciting piece. Aligning our work to the Blueprint 2.0 that you have worked with the Chamber and the LVGEA. Are we preparing our kids for those jobs? And that's our work as we shift quickly to do that.
I like how you always say, Jesus, you have to plan your work, but then you have to stick to your plan, And so you are right. We need to do that. We need to support you, stay the course. Despite the challenges, there's great things happening, great pockets of excellence within CCSD. And I always say we have to do a better job of highlighting that, because too often the front page is filled with the bad stuff, but we forget the good stuff. For example, this afternoon, we're going to be here at Workforce Connection celebrating the 2nd cohort of the Workforce Fellows, which are helping your high schools really, again, connect these kids to be career ready anyway.
Correct. And I think that's a beauty of the partnership, me being able to sit on a board, having your conversations with you. How do we reallocate dollars? How do we then work together? Because I need counselors that understand the businesses that are coming in, and your partnership and bringing them in, training them, is giving them the toolbox, right, for our kids. You're right. I mean, look, I get, newspapers have to sell. I get what sells, but here's what we're pushing. And here's, this past month, we just graduated, like I said, the number, we're tallying the number, $234 million plus in scholarships for kids going off to college. $234 million that our children earned free money, right, in our graduating class. And that's not counting those that are going into becoming productive citizens into the workforce. As I was walking into the graduation, it's shaking hands, some kids, and say, well, I'm joining the union. I'm joining here. I'm going into the workforce. And I said, have you checked with 872? Have you checked with Local 88? That's my involvement in Workforce Connection, that then I can have these conversations with kids, and that's what you're doing with our counselors. So it's just building that pipeline as we diversify this economy. So great things are happening. We need to do a better job. So having the opportunity to sit here with you to showcase our kids, it's always a welcome opportunity for me.
Yeah, and we appreciate, again, the fact that you're on the board, Jesus, the first superintendent, because you mentioned other board members, 872, Tommy White, Local 88, Jeremiah. These are the people that are doing the work with you, that we support you. We're trying to build those bridges. Again, back to the point where I was saying earlier that I wish more good stories made the front page. For example, I was, by your invitation, I was celebrating at SECTA just a couple of weeks ago how it's not top 100, top 10, the #1 magnet school in the nation, right here, SECTA. And it's not the only one. There's almost 20 or 30 other high schools in Clark County that made that list. Tell us a little bit about that honor.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, well, SECTA is just, it's wonderful to be there, and you have to be there on that campus. We just, as a matter of fact, just rebuilt the campus as well. The #1, you're right, #1 school in the country, in the United States of America, sitting here in the Clark County School District here in Las Vegas. And we're producing kids that are going, and we're changing a little bit of the conversation, is that are career ready. Because when you go to college, it's for a career, right? It's a career ready school. You have kids that are doing culinary. You have kids that are, that are cosmetology. They're doing, they're into mechanics. There's a bank. We have a bank where kids run a branch in that school. So not only do they spend time in the classroom doing advanced placement, they're also graduating ready for the workforce. So that school is about 2,000 kids. And those kids, everybody in Clark County and Las Vegas needs to go see what are the things that are happening. We're building a new one that's going to open up in North Las Vegas 10 years in the making. The North Las Vegas, it's Northeast CTA. But it's something that we're in aligning it to the business industry. We're also building one in the city of Henderson. So as we're moving, as big as we are, like I said, we're moving swiftly. But really, really proud of the work of Principal Cordia and what he's doing there, and the entire staff. And we got many more. I mean, you got Rancho that's got a hangar in our school. Our kids at Rancho High School graduate and walk out of high school with a pilot's license.
Wow.
I have a kid at Rancho, partnership with the chamber, with the Latin chamber and Federico Zaragoza. We have kids that are now with Barrick Mining and Gold Mines. We have kids that are graduating high school and have jobs in the mining, making $70,000 a year as a high school student. We have kids, so there's so many great things that are taking place here. That we have a lot to be proud of. Clark County School District, as a school district by the Magnet Schools of America, was recognized as the school district of the year, the best in the country around sustaining on equity, because the board, we changed the equity, we changed the acceptance into our magnets to be more diversified, to represent our children, represent the community. So in spite of what you're hearing, in spite of what you're seeing, our educators are doing a great job in really celebrating our kids.
They are. You have tons of principals and teachers that are heroes. And, I not too long ago was at Cimarron and was reminded they have a world-class robotics program. And every school has a story.
Every school has a story. Maybe what I was telling the team the other day, maybe what I need to do is, kind of when I was a high school principal, maybe I should challenge the press and say, you run 15 stories, I'll shave my head.
I like that.
Maybe 15 positive headlines for our kids, I'll shave my head for them.
I'll join you.
Maybe that's what we need to do.
Yeah, let's get in there. We'll ask Peter Guzman to join us.
Absolutely.
We'll do that.
The three of us, the three amigos, Federico también.
We'll include Federico. Jesus, I love that you mentioned those career academies coming up, not only on the side of the Bishop Gorman, but like you said, in the Northeast and Henderson. It's going to add to this story that you've been elaborating on. But I'd like to highlight another thing that's only happening in the Clark County School District, only happening, the only place in the nation. Again, we have many firsts here. Mary Beth Sewell was the first Chamber of Commerce to host an American Job Center anywhere in the nation. We have now at this new CTA that we're just months away, it will be the first school in the nation to be designed and to build an American Job Center for workforce services to be delivered not just for the students, but for the families. How excited about that are you?
Oh, I'm so excited about that project because it's a multi-prong approach what we're doing, and really proud of Trustee Cepeda and the board. It's in her district, but it's also we got Global Community High School that we're expanding. Which is a dual, it's for newcomer students that are coming in new to the country. So we have, they're getting a new building. On part of the building, we have our Career Technical Academy as well. We're learning from COVID. One of the things that we're learning from COVID is that you can do distance education, right? For certain population and not 100% for all kids, but one of the things that we're trying here is that the kids will do their content, math, science, social studies, distance ed. They're going to come in for the technical work. They're going to come in for the hands-on program that we're doing there. So that's going to be very exciting. We are then on the other side, as you cross the highway, cross the street, that's where we'll have the workforce one-stop shop for our kids. The school's going to be open. Let me back up. The school for the technical is going to be open from 7 in the morning till 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, because it's going to serve with the adults. It's going to be serving the entire community as well. So then we have, like I said, the resource center, which is where we'll have workforce connection. So the one-stop shop there for kids, for parents, for the community. We're also putting a health clinic there for the families as well. So it's really a community approach, and and a fellow board member of workforce, Olivia, Councilwoman Olivia Diaz, sits on the board here, and she knows. And we're going to be doing let me just put it out there. We're going to put August 1st. We're going to be doing a big grand opening, a big celebration, because it's going to open up August 8th will be the first day of school. Really, really, really excited about that project that just came from a conversation, a discussion, and response to the community. We're also looking at, I could just keep talking and keep going.
Please
because
do.
we're looking at, we had the transverse. We're looking at that simulation. We're going to start it right there and piloting it with those
Virtual
kids.
reality augmentation. Yes.
Absolutely. That is very, very exciting. And it's going to help us speed up our process in connecting our kids to the workforce.
Yeah, Jesus, I think you need to elaborate a little bit about that, because I was with you with that company looking at the technology, and not only is it an efficient way, you talked about how we're trying to be good stewards of the taxpayer money by utilizing the schools longer in the day to serve more than students and to family, but also being good stewards of the taxpayer money is being able to scale up in rural locations where you can't have mechanic shops, but through the virtual reality, you can expose them to mechanic things anywhere.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the greatest and the latest technology. So basically, the kids put it on. You got the handles. I tried it out. I was trying to do the mechanic, right, an airplane mechanic, and then fix different things, and they'll be able to practice. And it's very it's something that we can afford to scale up. Yep. The only thing that then we'd have to, like I said, rural Clark County, rural Nevada, we can then purchase that, and then they will then come to our schools when we need to come in to test out to get certified. Yep. So it's like you said, good stewards of the taxpayer money, scaling up, and we're starting it at this Career Technical Academy, but then expanding it in middle school, because that's one of the things that how do we connect our kids earlier? So they get a sense of what they want to do. I look at it, and I know Federico and I know Dr. Pollard and Dr. Whitfield, we talk about this on-ramp and off-ramp, right? Is when you're starting, your K-12, right? And not that I'm saying that 15 and 14-year-olds should know exactly. I mean, we were just talking before I got started. I didn't know I was going to be a superintendent, but it's how do we give them the skills to jump on and jump off, right? Well, I want to be a welder. Okay, well, let's get you into welding if that's what you want. But you still need to be able to read, think, and do math at high levels, because you're going to have to be, you better know your angles when you're welding. You better know geometry when you're welding, right?
That's right.
And then you do welding, but then, well, I want to go into and be the owner of my welding company. Well, you need a business degree. But now you're working, right? You're working at a high skill salary, and then you can jump back off and then go to college, and then you can become the owner. This is what I come back to this board. The relationships that I'm building, that I'm having for kids in our schools, so then we can get them the opportunities and jobs. I think it's the best opportunity that I've had the honor to serve, but then also putting our kids in the right spot.
We appreciate that, Jesus, that you're willing to work with us, because, again, as you said, we're moving into an economy that's based on lifelong learning. Mm-hmm. And you just described that kids need to be able to go on and off that learning acquisition process throughout their life, because they need to earn money, support a family, but they don't have to stop learning. And so I love that you have that vision, and we need to continue to work with all of those partners you mentioned to get there. Before I move off this topic, though, I want to make sure I captured it, because all these amazing things that are happening soon on the old Bishop Gorman site, right there. I heard you say it's not the last time it's going to happen. It's happening again in North Las Vegas and in Henderson. Did I hear you right? That's model?
Absolutely. We're looking at, so you're going to come in and we're going to put another workforce, because we'll be the first school district with 3. Wow. So we have the school in North Las Vegas. It's right next to Legacy. And this was, I know that that's a conversation we've had. I know that Councilman Black and others there, that was something that was supposed to happen 10 years ago. Well, we moved into a different place, but we're here now, and we are opening up a school again, aligning it to the business industry in North Las Vegas. So that's one. And then the city of Henderson, that one's a little bit more delayed. We're still looking for land. The board has already committed the dollars. And it's, again, really moving into a very similar approach as we're doing here in the central CTA.
And that will hopefully support the big efforts at Henderson and bringing Haas and their manufacturing supply chain into that area.
Yeah, I've had a great relationship and really with the city of Henderson. I know Mayor March. has been instrumental in helping us, and I think that is in the city administrators as well. And I know Councilwoman Romero sits on the board again. This is why I go back, the honor to serve on the board with you. It really connects our kids to opportunities.
That's what it's all about, helping. And that's from the beginning when we met you, I know we tease a lot about it. You tease me a lot, and I told your team, they told me you got to be on your best behavior today, Jaime. Do not tease the superintendent, so I got to keep my promise to your team. But I love the fact that our business relationship is even now evolved into a friendship. I really appreciate you being here in our region, helping us fix these problems that are been here for decades. So how else can Workforce Connections support you? How else can this board support your work?
No, and I think it's, well, yeah, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of back and forth, and, we have become close friends, but it's because we have the same mission. And I told you from day one, we have a lot of work to do. I know that some people feel that, there's a lot of work and we're not there yet. I'll be the first one to tell you I'm frustrated and that we're not moving as fast as I was with the state superintendent yesterday and last night, and we're sitting and talking. I mean, 2 years of COVID. And we've moved all these things, right? Imagine if we didn't have COVID, how much faster, right? We would have been able to move. But that's okay. It's something we were dealt with. I would tell you is to continue to push me to think and give me some ideas. I mean, because the fellow came from you. Say, what if? And I said, I'm gonna, and you and I talk about this. You've told me, I'm gonna take a shot at doing things. I'm gonna make decisions. And we'll get them right. But if we don't get them wrong, if we don't get them right, and we have to fix it, we'll course correct. But we can't sit around and not make decisions because our kids need us today. I have a saying that I say to the team. I said, I need to be the superintendent today that our kids needed last year. Yes. I need to be the superintendent that our kids needed last year, last 10 years. Our kids don't have the opportunity for us to finish 12 years and say, well, sorry, we got it wrong. You can't just spin around and not make decisions. And I think the team gets it, and I know that, that we move too fast, but we have to as a school system. So I would tell you, continue to challenge, continue to bring me ideas, bring us together, and that support. I'll never be the one to say, give me more money, because I know, there's I see the budget and the workforce. No, I'm kidding. But I think it's this community, the relationships, the support, because I am also invested in diversifying this economy. I know we were on a call with Hugh Anderson and others, and I think this is the third time that we've talked about diversifying this economy. Betsy Fretwell with LVGEA, she gave me a number that was, that I think it was X amount of number, I think in the 60,000 jobs in hospitality that have gone away after COVID that are not coming back. Well, I hear in the schools all the time, well, I have kids that are going to go park cars and make $60,000 a year. Not anymore. Those jobs aren't there. That's a great opportunity for some. So how do I prepare my kids for the high skilled jobs? And I think that's what I welcome, the support and the push, because our kids deserve it. Well,
you have our commitment and our to keep working together on addressing those issues, as you said, make sure these kids have those career opportunities they deserve. I know you care about kids. Just by watching you again, we've learned that we will not die by the paralysis while you're in charge. You do make decisions. We all make mistakes. We're humans, but I've seen you own your mistakes, make corrections, as you said. And again, I'm confident that the thing that's not going to happen is you're not going to stand there and just let things happen. You're going to make decisions. We're going to move forward. So.
I can't let grass grow under my feet.
That's right. So, Jesus, as we get to the end of the podcast, again, our commitment, we're going to continue also, unless you tell us not to show up to some of your board meetings and let your board know how what we're doing together. Anything else that we haven't talked about today?
No, I think it's important, right? You talk about the work that we need to do, right? And you look at all of these accomplishments that we've made. I mean, look, am I happy where we are? Absolutely not. Am I satisfied? No. But what we can do when I have a majority of the board working with me, and working with the business community, working with where we are, look at what we can accomplish. And I think it's an opportunity to say, let's come together. I mean, we're the board tonight at a board meeting. Look what we're doing in collaborating with our teachers. We are going to be most likely, the board's going to, vote. I think it's going to go in the positive direction. Our teachers are starting teacher salaries at $50,000. It's going to be very competitive across the West Coast. So these things are happening when I'm working with a majority of the board. My majority of the board is really committed to doing what we're doing, and I think that's where we need to go. So we're looking forward to this work as we really move into a direction that we need to for our kids.
I'm happy. I hope today's vote, like you said, rewards your teachers who work very, very hard, and your principals and all your staff. Thank you for being our superintendent. Yeah. Thank you for staying, because again, I feel that we're fortunate to have you, and you continue to count with our support moving forward. Thank you for being today here at the podcast, Jesus.
Thank you for having me.
So that's it for today's episode of the WC Podcast. We hope to see you on the next one. Until then, stay safe. All right, Jesus, thank you for staying over for our bonus segment called Against the Wall.
Okay, got it. It's like Family Feud. I like it. Let's go.
It is. Let's go. The first segment is called Your Favorites. So tell us your favorite book.
My favorite book, actually the one that I'm reading right now, it's Bill Clinton, My Life.
Love it. Your favorite ice cream?
Vanilla.
Favorite funny movie?
Funny movie? Oh, boy, I don't get to pass.
Favorite song?
Favorite song? Oh, boy, Don't Stop Believing.
Oh, I love that one. Favorite food?
Calzone.
Favorite sport to watch in person?
Football.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Favorite way to relax?
Smoke cigars. Sorry.
I love it. Think about this one. Favorite football team?
The Patriots.
Favorite hockey team?
The Golden Knights.
Awesome. You've made it through the first segment. Call your favorites. Let's start the second one.
Don't tell the Raiders that, but the Raiders are my new favorite.
Yes. Mr. Mark Johnson, he's the next favorite. The next segment is called Tough Choices, Jesus. So here we go. Boy. Would you rather vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
Relax at the beach or in the mountains?
The mountains.
On Sunday morning, would you rather have a hearty breakfast or sleep in a few more hours?
Sleep in a few more hours.
Would you rather owe money or owe a favor?
Owe money.
Would you rather spend an afternoon driving in the city or by the countryside?
Countryside.
Here's my favorite, Jesus. Actions or words?
Actions.
Justice or grace?
Oh, grace.
I love it. You made it through the second segment called Tough Choices. Let's go to the last one. It's called Finish the Sentence. I'm going to give you about 90% of the sentence, and you're going to finish it up. You ready?
Got it.
If Jesus could live anywhere, it would be?
Las Vegas.
Jesus's favorite thing about his career is?
Get to help kids.
The best part of living in Southern Nevada is?
The people.
3 words that describe Jesus are?
Passionate, stubborn, and I think I'm funny.
I couldn't agree more. If Jesus could travel back in time, he would travel to?
Venezuela.
Amazing. That's where you grew up. We share that background. We both grew up in South America. And the last question, Jesus, doing the WC podcast today was?
Excellent.
Awesome.